Dear students, welcome to the class. In this class, I am going to discuss about geometric elements of railway track. In this topic, we will discuss about three concepts. First one is railway alignment. Next one is railway gradient. And next one is the super elevation. Railway alignment, it is the center line of the railway track which have been provided throughout the length of railway track. And a railway alignment may be considered as a route of railway. And the next one is the railway gradient. Wherever ground is flattened, we no need to provide any gradient. Wherever ground having undulations or rises and falls, or wherever it means based upon the terrain, sometimes we may need to provide the slope to the railway track. Understand? And it means wherever we need to raise the railway track, we need to provide or we need to rise the railway track with some slope. And wherever we need to fall or wherever we need to down the railway route, in that case also we need to down the railway track with some slope. Understand? And also the slope of the railway track is considered as gradient. And next one is the super elevation. Super elevation is the concept or super elevation. It is a component of railway track which have been provided when we are providing curves. Whenever we need to change the direction of a railway track, directly we cannot change it. We can change the direction of a railway track or we can change the route of a railway track by providing some curve. Through the curve only we can change the direction of the railway track. So at the time of providing curve, we can provide some super elevation to the railway track. So these are the three concepts which we will study under the geometric elements of railway track. In this session, we will discuss about railway alignment. In coming sessions, we will discuss about railway gradient and super elevation. Let me discuss about railway alignment. Okay, railway alignment. You will see the central line of a railway track or a rail route is called as alignment. Not only in the case of railways, the railway alignment is used in the also in the case of highways. In case of highways, the center line of the road is called as alignment. In case of railway track, the center line of the rail route throughout the length or throughout the distance of the railway track is called as railway alignment. And the railway alignment have been classified into two types. First one is horizontal alignment and next one is the vertical alignment. Horizontal alignment and vertical alignment. Wherever we need to provide the railway alignment or the railway track in horizontal direction, it is called as horizontal alignment. And whenever we need to provide alignment to the railway track which have been provided in vertical direction, understand? So that is called as vertical alignment. It means horizontal alignment we can provide whenever the ground is flatter and wherever the ground have been leveled. In that case, we can provide horizontal alignment. And whenever the ground having some undulations, understand? So in that case, we can provide railway track by providing certain gradient. Okay, now. So in that case, the alignment of the railway track is called as vertical alignment. And one more thing about vertical alignment is whenever we need to merge or whenever we need to connect two points in hill areas with different elevations, in that case, we can, it means we can join that two points by using railway track and by, in that case, the railway track we can provide by using some gradient. In that case, the railway track have been, it means the train should be moved in vertical direction with some gradient. Okay, now, so in that case, the alignment of the railway track is called as vertical alignment. Okay, now, so in this topic, especially we discuss about what is railway track, what are the different components of railway track, and what is a good alignment, or when an alignment can be said as good alignment, and what are the requirements of an alignment if it should be a good alignment, and what are the different components or what are the different factors which can affect the selection of railway alignment. All these topics we are going to see in this session. It is railway alignment or alignment of railway lines. See, first of all, what is railway alignment? We will see alignment of railway line refers to the direction and position given to the center line of the railway track on the ground in the horizontal and vertical plane. As already we have been discussing that the center line of the railway track in the direction of railway route throughout the distance which have been laid is called as alignment of railway. And based upon the circumstances, the railway alignment have been classified into two types: horizontal alignment, vertical alignment. Horizontal alignment means the direction of the railway track in the plan, including the straight path and the curves it follows. Should I know? So, if the railway alignment have been laid on flatted terrain, then the alignment is called as railway alignment, horizontal alignment. In horizontal alignment, two components will be there. First one is the straight alignment, and next one is the curved alignment. And wherever the railway line is straight, in that case, the alignment is called as a straight alignment. And wherever the railway line have been provided with certain curve, so that is called as curve alignment. Okay, now, and coming to vertical alignment means the direction it follows in a vertical plane, including the level track, gradients, and vertical curves. Wherever the ground have undulations and wherever we need to connect two points with which have been provided at different elevations, in that case, the alignment of railway track is called as vertical alignment. The various factors which are affecting alignment and the types of railway alignment and their suitability are going to discussed in the session. Importance of good alignment. A new railway line should be aligned carefully after proper considerations, as improper alignment may ultimately prove to be more costly and may not be able to fulfill the desired objectives. Because the construction of railway line involved in the lots of expenses. Because for the groundwork and for the ballast and for the sleepers and for the rails, each and every component of a railway track and each and every work is of the railway track is too much costly in the sense of money. So for the construction of railway track, we need to expend lots and lots of money. And because even if we need to construct a railway track, even for a 1 kilometer, it approximately it costs around 1 crore rupees. So that much costly the laying of railway track. And one more thing we should know is the most and primary important component of railway track is its alignment. If we construct a railway track with proper alignment, so then we can say that the railway track can give certain sustainability, and also it can provide safety and comfort to the passengers and trains which are moving through the railway track. And if we construct a railway track with improper alignment, we can say that the complete railway track is wasted. So if we construct a railway track with improper alignment, we can say that railway track is not suited for the movement of trains, and the railway track have been wasted. So in that place, we cannot construct again one more railway track with proper alignment, because it involves in the lots of expenses, lots of expenditure it involves. So once at a only once we can construct railway track. Okay, so in that case, the consideration of railway track is involving lots of consideration, and it is the most important criteria in the case of railways. Railway line constructions are capital intensive projects. Once constructed, it is difficult to change the alignment of a railway line because of the costly structures involved, difficulty in getting additional land for the new alignment, and such other considerations. So in that case, only once we can construct the railway track. Okay, while construction of railway track, we need to construct it with proper and correct and accurate alignment. Basic requirements of an railway alignment. Basic requirements of a railway alignment is it contains certain purposes like a railway alignment should have a purpose. This is the first requirement of a ideal railway alignment. You can see It should have a purpose because there will be so many purposes behind the construction of railway tracks, like developing an area, or to provide a revenue to a country, or to connect it to important cities, or to connect it to important trade centers, or for tourist purpose, or for industrial purpose, or to convey goods of industries or agriculture. Okay, so like this, there will be so many purposes of the railway track. Understand? So before constructing a railway track, if it contains a exact and accurate and a particular purpose, so then we can say that that alignment is a good alignment. You can see the first requirement of a railway alignment is its purpose, because a railway line or a railway track should contain a particular purpose. Understand? So without any purpose, if you construct a railway track, it will not called as a good alignment. The alignment of a new railway line should serve the basic purpose for which the railway line is being constructed. As brought out earlier, the purpose may include strategic considerations, political considerations, developing of backward areas, connecting new trade centers, and shortening existing rail lines. So this is the most important concept of railway alignment. And the next important requirement of ideal railway alignment is integrated development. A new railway line should fit in with the general planning and form a part of the integrated development of the country. Because the railway line, once we are constructing, it should give some development to the country, and also it should integrate the developing process of the country. So this is the another requirement of a good railway alignment. And the railway alignment also involving in the so many expensive natures, and it will be involved in the so many kinds of expenditures. So the all the expenses of the construction of railway track have been involved in the path where it is constructing, and the type of material which is selected, and the expenditure involved for the labor. Understand? So these are the different considerations which we need to consider while constructing a railway track. And in the selection of railway alignment, you can see under economic considerations, the first topic we are going to see is shortest route, because it is desired between 2 points. Whenever we are connecting 2 points by railway track or by rail transport, it should be a shortest distance, and the shortest distance between any 2 points will be the straight line. Understand? No? So this is the one of the important consideration we need to consider when we are selecting a railway alignment. So then if any railway track contains shortest distance between 2 points, so then in that case the alignment of the railway track is considered as good alignment or ideal alignment. It is desirable to have the shortest and most direct route between connecting points. The shorter the length of the railway line, the lower the cost of its construction, maintenance, and operation. There can, however, be other practical considerations that can lead to deviation from this shortest route. And the next one of the important consideration behind the selection of good alignment is the construction and maintenance cost. The alignment of the line should be so chosen that the construction cost is minimum. This can be achieved by a balanced cut and fill of the work, and minimizing rock cutting and draining crossings by locating the alignment on the watershed lines, and such other technical considerations. Maintenance costs can be reduced by avoiding steep gradients and sharp curves, which cause heavy wear and tear of the rails and the rolling stocks. This is the one of the most important consideration involving in the economic consideration of railway track. And the next one is the minimum operational expenses. This is also most important one we should consider. Understand? No? That is, the alignment should such that the operational or transport expenses are should be minimum. This can be done by maximizing the haulage of goods with the given power of locomotive and traction mix. This can be achieved by providing easy gradients, avoiding sharp curves, and adopting direct route. So These are all the various aspects which are involving in the construction and minimizing the expenses of the cost of construction. Okay, na? And the next one is the maximum safety and comfort. This is the most important consideration behind the selection of any railway alignment. The alignment should be such that it provides maximum safety and comfort to the traveling public. This can be achieved by designing curves with proper transition lanes, providing vertical curves for gradients, and incorporating other such technical features. And next one is the aesthetic considerations. Aesthetic considerations is nothing but the beauty of the surroundings. Whenever we construct a railway track, through the beautiful locations, we can say the alignment of the railway track is called as good alignment. Now, whenever we construct a railway track without considering the beautiful locations, so then we can say that alignment is not a good alignment, because the beautiful locations, through the journey when people are traveling through the track, they can, it means the locations itself, they can reduce some strength, stress, and also the locations can reduce some discomforts of the passengers. Understand? So that's why the aesthetic considerations also play an important role in the selection of a good alignment. While deciding the alignment, aesthetic aspects should also be given due weightage. A journey by rail should be visually pleasing. This can be done by avoiding views of barricades and passing the alignment through natural and beautiful surroundings with scenic beauty. Next one is the selection of a good alignment. Normally, a direct straight route connecting two points is will be the shortest route, and it will be the most economical route for a railway track. And practically, it may possible or it may not possible due to so many kinds of problems will be there, because sometimes ground may be undulation, sometimes water bodies may come across the railway track, and sometimes hilly hills may come across the railway track, and sometimes some important religious monuments like temples, churches, and masjids may come across the railway track. Understand? So in those cases, we cannot avoid all those things. Understand? And we cannot provide a straight railway track, because we can consider such topographical features, such geological features of the ground, and in that case we need also to be considered for in the selection of railway alignment so many features. Normally, a direct straight route connecting two points is the shortest and most economical route for a railway line. But there are practical problems and other compulsions which necessitate deviation from this route. The various factors involved is the selection of a good alignment for a railway line are given below. First one is the choice of gauge. We know that in our India we will follow three types of gauges. First one is meter gauge, broad gauge, and narrow gauge. And in this here, the dimensions of the gauges are also have been given. The dimension of the broad gauge is 1676 mm, and for meter gauge it is 1000 mm, and for narrow gauge it is 762 mm. As per the latest policy of the government of India, new railway lines are constructed by broad gauge only, because the selection of the gauge or the size of the gauge also depends on the terrain, also depends on the purpose for which the railway track is laid. Understand? And also the movement of the train, and also the it also based upon the geological conditions. Okay, now, so by considering all these conditions, we can choose the proper and particular gauge. Understand? So in the selection of railway alignment, the choice of gauge will play a most important role. And next one is the obligatory or controlling points. These are the points through which the railway line must pass due to political, strategic, and commercial reasons, as well as due to technical considerations. The following are obligatory or controlling points. Okay, these are the different types of obligatory points which we need to consider while we are choosing a good alignment. First one is the cities and towns and some important places which come across through the railway track. Okay, now so these are the most important and intermediate towns or places or cities which have commercial, strategic, and political importance. So in the selection of railway alignment, we need to consider all these things, and we need to connect all these cities, towns. Okay, now so then only we can make people or we can make passengers easily to avail trains. And next one is the major bridge sites and river crossings. Okay, now in the selection of railway alignment, various river crossings may be there, and various valleys may come and also various hills may come. Understand it? So in those cases, sometimes we need to provide bridges and sometimes we need to provide tunnels. Understand? So the construction of major bridges for large rivers is very expensive, and suitable bridges sites become obligatory points for a good alignment. Next one is the existing passes and saddles in hilly terrain. Existing passes and saddles, they should be identified and they should be recognized for crossing a hilly terrain, and they should be avoided with deep cuttings. Understand? And also sometimes they should be avoided by providing certain banks or embankments with certain height. Sites of tunnels. This is the most important consideration, which most important considerations we need to take into account in the selection of good alignment. The option of a tunnel in place of a deep cut in a hilly terrain is better from the economical viewpoint, and also it is the better in the selection of site. Understand? So these are all the various obligatory points or control points which have been involved in the selection of railway alignment. And next one is the topography of the country. Topography of the country also plays an important role in the selection of a good alignment, because in some places the terrain may be plain and in some places the terrain may have different alignments. A plain alignment, when the topography is plain and flat, the alignment presents no problems and can pass through the obligatory points, and it have very easy gradings. Next one is the valley alignment or vertical alignment or steep alignment or vertical alignment. So the alignment of railway line is valley is simple and does not pose any problem. If two control points lies in the same valley, a straight line is provided between these two points with a uniform gradient. And next one is the geometric standards. So many geometric considerations we need to consider. Next one is geological formation. Geological form, the type of the soil and the bearing capacity of the soil, all those things we need to consider. And next one, the religious and historical monuments. Understand in the through the railway track or across the railway track, sometimes some religious aspects may come. We cannot avoid all those things, or we cannot dismantle those religious aspects like temples, churches, and all those things. Understand? And so in those cases, we need to change the direction of alignment. So this is the one of the most important consideration. Political considerations in the selection of railway track and in the construction of railway track, in the selection of railway alignment, so many political wages will be involved, especially like India, like a developing country. Okay, so the alignment should take into account political considerations. It should not enter foreign soil and should preferably be away from common. So these are all the various considerations which we need to consider and which we need to take into account in the selection of a good alignment. Okay, now, so in this session we have been discussed about what is alignment, what are the different requirements of good alignment, and what are the things we need to consider in the selection of railway alignment. Thanks. Thank you so much. Thank you guys.